What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Valenti VOD. It's your boy Chris. I got my brother Matt here.
Valenti.
And Valenti and Crolenti here. We got a pretty good show for you today, folks. We're talking about Luigi's Manifesto. Believe it or not, that's a real fucking sentence. And speaking of, Italians, we're talking about the New Jersey drones, whatever the fuck is going on right over there across the Hudson. But yeah,
I haven't
guys,
seen anything yet in person, but a lot of people have.
I've been seeing some shit that's a little bit inexplicable, ladies and gentlemen. But I figured the first thing that we would do is bring up Luigi's Manifesto, and I know that sounds like a Nintendo video game, but go ahead, Matt, pull that up.
I mean, listen, it's really interesting. Also, how the media has completely just paternalistically been like, "Oh, we're not going to show this." And, we're only going to give you the paraphrasing. They won't even show his photo. I mean, it's actually ridiculous.
There's a massive disconnect between legacy media and the way that the public is reacting to this.
And Ken Klippenstein in particular goes to show, Substack journalism. You see that with him. You see that with Matt Taibbi. People, independent journalists, are doing the real journalism, and I think there's a miscarriage in the legacy media.
Even so, yes, you're correct there, but even so, you're starting to see some quote-unquote independent journalists, meaning like YouTubers like Ben Shapiro, right, who's their own audience are turning against them because Ben Shapiro, a lot of conservative people, the people who are getting major funding, and a lot of that is on the right wing, like YouTubers, they're taking the side of the CEOs.
There's some on the left, absolutely.
But there's not much major funding for left-wing content creators as much as there is the right wing, and a lot of them, I think, are afraid to piss off shareholders.
And if we could get the funding, I mean, to a degree, depending on who would give it.
Are you fucking kidding? I would take the money. But think about it. Do you remember when Steven Crowder got offered a $50 million contract for some shit?
And he said it was
slave labor.
Dude,
he called it slave labor.
Anyway, we could talk about this for ages.
Completely going off the fucking topic.
This is the main thing.
Let me see the manifesto.
Okay, hold
on. Guys, if you've been living under a rock, Luigi Manifesto shot and killed the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson.
No one needs you to deliver them the news.
Somebody might.
They want your take.
Somebody might.
So first of all, this is interesting in the fact that this is his mugshot. They're not showing his mugshot.
Look at those Italian caterpillars right there. That's where they caught him.
Yeah, that's how they found him from a mile away. This is the manifesto. Give it in Luigi's actual voice. No, not his accent.
I know. I will say one thing about this, though. The beginning of it to the feds, that's the one thing that's making me think maybe this is bullshit. But let's do it.
To the feds. I'll keep this short, because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering. So probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife or of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the United States has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world. Yet, we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. United is the largest company in the United States by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, and Walmart. It has grown and grown. But as our life expectancy? No. The reality is, these have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have the space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and the greed. Rosenthal, more. Decades ago, the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. Let's go.
Unbelievable. First of all,
it's an incredible monologue.
I'm going to give my rating of his manifesto.
What
and
about
I'm
my
give yours.
monologue?
Hold on. Oh, well, you were a 10 out of 10, but let's be frank. He is a bullshit Luigi. The second best Luigi is the Luigi from Luigi's Mansion. But the first best
Luigi's Mangione?
Mangione. Luigi, that's unbelievable. But the first and best Luigi, do you want to know who it is?
Who?
The one in your arms.
Oh, yeah. Guys, Waluigi says hello.
Right. And by
her name is Luigi.
Her name was Luigi way before.
Oh yeah, no. What do you think? I renamed my fucking dog after this?
Thank God you fucking didn't.
Could you imagine?
I'm beside the point. That, in my opinion, 3 out of 10. And I'll tell you why.
I don't buy that, to be honest. Have you read his book reviews, his Goodreads stuff?
No, I haven't.
Stark difference.
No, but the point is you think about the Unabomber Volume 1, Volume 2, whatever. That was long. That was. I wouldn't. This is the whole point. The media's calling this like the ramblings of a madman. He doesn't seem like a madman.
No, he's not a fucking madman.
Right? He's not a fucking madman. Now, he's saying he's using a lot of words to say A, nothing, B, what we all know. And I think that's the most important thing here.
He's not saying nothing. He's saying...
I'm not sharing the screen. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
There you go.
He's not saying nothing. I mean, like, right here, this is an important point that a lot of people don't even know this. Oh, I can't highlight. Oh, yes, I can. The U.S. is the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy.
Yeah.
There's no nation on the planet that guys, I hope you don't think that, like, these nations like Canada, right, like, that have, like, socialized healthcare. I hope you don't think that people are just, like, fucking piling up and dying. That's not the way it works. Like, it is possible. What is this?
No, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Yeah. Don't let me interrupt you. I'm sorry, I was preparing something.
No, but it's entirely possible for us to fix the system. I understand that people, everybody knows somebody who has had their life affected by the fucking dog shit healthcare system, whether it be like the necessary care that they needed was delayed because they couldn't, the hospital, it wasn't in network, whatever the treatment was. Or, there's people who, like, they can't afford health insurance, and then they don't have a job for health insurance. Part of the reason why, if you lose your job, your fucking life is ruined, is because you lose health insurance. It's
right.
I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The main story here is not. That's the whole thing. I said this to you before. I don't give a shit about this kid. I don't care whatsoever. Also, I don't care about the CEO. The CEO is going to be copy and paste and replaced with someone with the same ideology, same decision making, and everything. But the big story here, let's be clear. Murder is bad. We all know that, right? But I want to.
We don't all agree there.
No. Look, murder is bad, but I want to show you one thing that a lot of people are not really talking about. Okay, this.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. I've said
this is the proper response.
Well, here's the thing, Matt. Brian Thompson.
Credit to Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk, for this meme. I don't know where he got it, but he posted it and it went.
Brian Thompson is responsible for more deaths than every serial killer in U.S. history combined.
It's okay. I forget who said it. Kyle said it really well. It's death via spreadsheet. Literally, it's death via Microsoft Excel and AI.
When you prevent people from getting the necessary health care that they need, which increases the speed of their impending doom, that is the same fucking thing as murder. You're just not the guy pulling the fucking trigger, just like Bill Burr said. I think Bill Burr said that.
You want to, like, what Bill Burr said it was, he's the one saying it, everybody's thinking it, but, like, I forget, somebody said this on TikTok, but they were like, you're expecting what's the generation from 18 to like 25 right now? Gen Alpha, Gen Z, all these people who grew up with school shootings.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to do all those drills. And now the incels' attention has been driven away from people like average Joes and onto the CEOs. And they're putting together, we have to, be mindful and everything. You're afraid because the chickens are coming home to roost.
Mm-hmm.
Chickens are coming home to roost with you damaged. There's 68,000 healthcare related deaths a year.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is what finally leads to like a semblance of gun control, because the rich are finally scared out of their fucking pants. I wouldn't be surprised.
It would really be ironic.
It would be incredibly ironic.
This is the main point. Hold on, I'm pulling this up.
What's annoying me about this kid who killed this CEO is none of these news programs are talking about the incredible lack of empathy from the general public about this because of how these insurance companies treat people when they are at their most vulnerable, after we've all given them our money every fucking month and now we finally need you and all you do is deny us.
Exactly.
And then these pussies and all of these things are taking the pictures of their CEOs off their websites. You know, I got to be honest with you, okay? I love that that fucking CEOs are fucking afraid right now.
100%.
You should be. By and large, you're all a bunch of selfish, greedy fucking pieces of shit, and a lot of you are mass murderers. You just don't pull the trigger.
Exactly.
That's why it looks clean. That's why these people look, oh my God, oh, he was just, you know, walking into a hotel. It's like, okay, but what was his job? What did he do? What was the results of?
Here's the thing, though.
I mean, he went on.
Let me say one thing here, which is that these people are like, oh, well, why don't we take them to court? Why don't we do all this shit? These fucking companies, there's a reason why Luigi wrote deny, defend, depose on the fucking bullets. And it's because these companies, health insurance specifically, have a slogan, which is delay, deny, depose. And what that slogan is, it's in reference to when they get sued and when they're in court. They can afford, they have fucking billions of dollars. This is how wealthy people beat normal people in court. They can afford to drag it on for years and pay the lawyer fees. And they delay, and they deny, and they depose. That's the whole point. That's how they stretch it out, right? So when you have that much money and the court system is rigged in your fucking favor, you are eventually pushing the American people to the point where the only option left is to cap your shit to 10 double pump back of the fucking head, cranking 90s up on you like I'm playing Fortnite.
Right, but okay.
My apologies.
Again, nobody here is advocating for murder and everything, but the bigger story is it's about the public's response. It's not about these two individuals. It's not about the fact that there's going to be literally another CEO making the same.
Oh, he's going to get replaced. Well, I don't know about the same exact decisions, because now we're finally starting to see it's become more of a public thing. People are like dropping their coverage from United Healthcare and going to other places, although they're just exact replacements.
They're copy paste. The point is like. The way to get the systemic change, I've always said, is through when you see those clips go viral of like that guy Josh Hawley and the way he was talking to the airline CEOs, those things create public pressure.
Josh
shame.
Hawley's also a fucking
I'm not
moron.
saying I agree with him, but a broken clock is right twice a day. But what you will see, the furthest a politician has gone so far is Elizabeth Warren. I have Elizabeth Warren, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ro Khanna. What do they all have in common? They're the left wing of the party. Mm-hmm. And this was, I don't know the number, but it was that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris used the word health insurance in their collective campaigns. Do you know how many times?
How many? On
the campaign trail. Just take one guess.
200.
Less than 20. This was the miscarriage of their campaign. Joe Biden was and listen, I'm a lefty. I'm like you. We differ in maybe 5% of areas. Yeah. But the point, like, they completely dropped the ball. When you look at this appetite for change, this is bipartisan. Oh, yeah. This would have won them the election. And who was Joe Biden? Joe Biden was the VP to the guy who created Obamacare.
It would have won them the election, but it also would have lost their shareholders and lobbyists fucking tens of millions of dollars.
Who they answer to.
Which is why I always say the same thing. The Republicans and the Democrats are the different sides of the same fucking coin. They have the same lobbyists and overlords and the same fucking people who are funding their campaigns. It's pharmaceutical companies, it's insurance companies, it's the NRA. It's always the same fucking companies. They don't give a shit if you're a Republican or Democrat. The only color they care about is green.
Anyway, right. But I think Elizabeth Warren had arguably one of the best responses in my opinion.
Pocahontas?
Terrible for individuals, but stop and think overall about the social contract. Part of the deal in how we've kept this democracy, this economy, this country on a fairly steady path for more than 200 years has been that those at the top pay a little more in taxes, are a little less rich than they otherwise might be, and everybody else at least gets a chance.
Yeah.
And what happens when you turn this into the billionaires run it all is they get the opportunity to squeeze every last penny.
Yeah.
And look, we'll say it over and over. Violence is never the answer. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of United Health.
And hopefully a jury adjudication.
But you can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
We need regulation in part to rein those guys in. And
You know, she's saying all the right things,
Yeah,
but she sucks at selling.
What's funny is she at the end there was saying we need more regulation. Yes, I have literally had live debates on TikTok with people who are like, we need less regulation and allow it to be a real free market. That way that we can get really good health care offered by... And it's like, no, people are greedy.
There's many industries where that's true. There's also many industries where you'd have to take the profit motive out. Private prisons is one. Healthcare is another.
Let's also stop calling it healthcare because they do not provide healthcare. They provide insurance. The doctor and the hospital is giving you the healthcare. Those are the only people.
Limited condition insurance is what it really is. Also, you don't even know what those limits truly are
because... They're not even giving you anything. You're paying monthly for them to not give you anything, but for the quote-unquote promise that we're going to pay for it when you need it. Right. Then you fucking call them. You're like, hey, you know all that money I've been spending? I need it now. And they go, oh, no, that's not covered. The fuck have I been paying for?
So the other two people on the left who have had, and here's the other thing, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, all these people have been vindicated in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
The DNC needs to be thrown up.
Asking for a small donation.
The DNC has to be blown up because they're the ones who kneecapped. They're the ones who put in Hillary Clinton. It's funny actually. If you go back and look at Hillary Clinton's positions in 2008 when there was the primary, she was way further left and actually better than how she was in 2016.
Oh yeah.
I'm beside the point. This is Bernie Sanders talking, and I would love your interpretation and accent on this as well. I don't even know if I can do a Bernie. You got to try. So this is a tweet from Say Hill Cooper. I don't know who he is. But he has a quote from Bernie.
Bernie Sanders on Luigi Mangione in the reaction. It goes without saying that the murder of this gentleman who has 2 kids is outrageous and unacceptable. He adds. But I think what the outpouring of anger at the health car industry tells us is that millions of people understand that health care is a human right, and you cannot have people in the insurance industry rejecting needed health care for people while they make billions of dollars in profits. Yeah, so this is something that I said actually a couple weeks ago on election night when I was talking about the prison population, or the prison industrial system. There are some facets of a society that simply just shouldn't be for profit, because once you let that cat out of the bag, you know what I mean? It's not going back in. And just like we've seen with the growth of private prisons, you get more and more incarceration rates. With the growth of private health insurance companies, you're going to see more and more denied claims so that they can pocket that fucking extra money.
Right. I entirely agree, but
this is what we've been seeing is like a little bit of class consciousness starting to open up just slightly, is that most people, the working class, finally understand that this is not a left versus right issue, it's an up versus down issue. But at the same time, we're a wildly uneducated country. The American education system is pretty bad. So there's a lot of people who aren't understanding that the people that they vote for directly affect this situation. What do we got here? What is this?
So,
Ro Khanna?
Ro Khanna, look, my opinion, he is arguably one of the best congresspeople
He's a good guy.
On the left. His congressional district is like Silicon Valley, so he is a very, very big tech guy. That comes with its positives. That also comes with its negatives. But part of his constituency are those businesses that create jobs. I digress. Yeah. We could talk about that another day. You listen to his commentary on ABC News. I think this was last week. I don't know the host, but it doesn't matter.
Online vitriol surprised you?
Well, first of all, let me just say it was...
But has this online vitriol surprised you?
Well, first of all, let me just say it was horrific. I mean, this is a father we're talking about of 2 children.
Shut up,
and my
Chris.
sympathies to the entire family. There is no justification for violence. But the outpouring afterwards has not surprised me. Look, I, as a congressperson, had United Healthcare deny a prescription for a nasal $100 pump spray, and I couldn't get them to reverse this. So imagine what ordinary people are dealing with. The biggest denial comes when it's cancer treatment. When people are getting denied on cancer treatment. And my view is very simple. Why can't we have a rule that if a doctor prescribes something and if Medicare, traditional Medicare, is going to cover it, then private insurance companies should be forced to cover it? I mean, it's absurd in this country.
Here's the thing. Great idea. Donald Trump wants to get rid of Medicare.
Yeah.
So
I mean, listen, no. He wants to gut it. I totally understand that. You know, you have to win with proposals, but also let's be real. That would have like a 6% approval rating with the American people, and a huge part of the constituency of Donald Trump was 65 plus older white men.
Yeah.
So they're not going to go and say, yeah, absolutely, go take away my Medicare.
Well, here's
also,
the thing.
Medicaid areas with higher populations of members are predominantly in red states.
And I think you are underestimating the stupidity of MAGA voters. I do think that they would vote against their own. I watched an interview with a farmer who is 80% of his labor force is undocumented workers, and he was like, "Yeah, we should deport them all."
Right.
Like, you're underestimating just how fucking dumb you have to be to support Donald Trump.
Right. So this interview goes on. Hold on one second. I want to get to the second part.
No worries.
Insured or underinsured. Healthcare is a human right. We need Medicare for all. But that's not really going to happen. So what would you say to those Americans who are frustrated right now?
Well, first of all, Bernie Sanders is absolutely right. I believe we can make Medicare for all happen. He was retweeting Elon Musk, who was pointing out that the United States spends the most on administrative waste. If you care about efficiency in government, Medicare is 2% administrative fees. The private insurance, 18% that they're wasting. But as we fight for Medicare for all, what we can do is require private insurance to cover anything that Medicare would cover. We can require a cap on out-of-pocket costs. We have to understand people with cancer, with heart disease, with diabetes, with insurance aren't getting the care that they need. They're getting stuck with huge medical bills. And Bernie...
No, I want to say something about before he goes on.
He's gonna wrap up.
We are supposed to be, apparently, the strongest nation on planet Earth, the best nation on planet Earth, the number one first world nation. And the fact that people with fucking cancer are getting denied their own chemotherapy pills from United Healthcare, I feel like that's a sign that we are
getting denied some stuff. I don't know about all of
that.
Well,
they were talking about how cancer patients are like the number one most denied people. The fact that is a problem in this nation should open up everybody's eyes to the fact that we can't possibly be the best nation on planet Earth. That can't be. These two things can't exist simultaneously.
I agree with you entirely. I mean, it's ridiculous. And like when you heard her say that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah, that's why I was so pissed. What do you mean that's not going to happen?
Yeah, you listen to that, and I just wanted to go back to one thing. It goes to show you how out of touch the media really is. Like,
oh my God,
I just want to show you this headline. Look at this. Extremely ironic. Suspect in United Healthcare CEO slaying played video game killer. Friend calls.
Guys.
Wait, Among Us.
They're talking about Among Us. They're talking about Among Us. They're saying, scroll back up, show them the headline again. Extremely ironic. Suspect in United Healthcare CEO slaying played video game killer? Friend recalls. They're implying that this guy is playing these video games as a killer. What is he playing? Oh my God, what's he doing? In the game called Among Us, some players are secretly assigned to be killers in space.
Dude, just read this quote from this roommate.
I found it extremely ironic that, we were in this game and there could actually be a true killer among us. As soon as his photo and name popped up on my X, my friend texted me asking if I knew him, and then either I was calling some 10 friends or they were calling me. I didn't speak to anybody today who wasn't already aware of what had happened.
And look at the way they classify it. Among Us is a child-friendly whodunit game, which a group of friends run around several space station-like maps. The crewmates, cartoonist astronauts, run around the ship to complete tasks. The intent of the game, one member is killed in attempts to cut off other crew members. I mean, dude, this is Among Us. Like, you might as well be playing Fall Guys. What are they going to say? Oh, you want to push people off ledges if you play Fall Guys? That's
the same type of shit where it's like, yo, you've been playing GTA. I'm assuming you like beating grandmothers with a baseball bat. It's like, the fuck are you talking about?
The establishment media, they take so much money from these healthcare companies, the advertising, this and that. Because that's the other thing. You know that the rates in which they pay for ads are inflated for the value of the audience. Mm-hmm. They're not actually doing it on a cost-effective basis for each individual person. So they get to set the rates. The rates come with a quid pro quo, in my opinion, I believe.
This is an oligarchy.
Yeah, but I want to get to the drone stuff because that's also a big cover up. So we'll get to that later in the video. But yeah, this is just an unbelievable. It's an unbelievable situation. The real story truly is the response from people, and I mean, Twitter, the comments on social media, of my thoughts and prayers are out of network. It was ridiculous.
I love the way that the public is reacting to this.
Let's see how it plays out. If they have a public trial, like a publicly filmed trial, this is going to be larger than the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh yeah, you're going to see massive crowds. You're going to have women asking them to sign their tits. It's going to be great.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.